Hey everybody, this is Alex Bracke with the Valor Group of Pearson Smith Realty. Coming at you today with a question from a seller client here in Leesburg, Virginia, in Loudoun County. He was asking us, hey, how do we go about pricing properties, right? How do we figure out what the best price is to list a property at? It's actually kind of a two-step process. So the first thing that we're doing, we are pulling what we would, in real estate agent speak, we say we're pulling comps. We are looking at homes that are similar to yours and trying to figure out what was the market willing to bear for those homes. So we want to look obviously at size of the home, but proximity to your home, right? If we can get other homes in the exact same neighborhood, obviously that's a lot better than getting a home that's say 3 miles away. Certainly geographic proximity to yours, size, trying to keep that roughly the same. And then other factors like, does yours have a basement and theirs didn't, right? We would prefer that they both have basements, making sure that the number of garage spaces is the same. How big is the lot or the acreage size? That's going to be important. Once we have a group of those listings that we know what the market was willing to bear for those, then we're going to start kind of dissecting the data a little bit. First way we're going to dissect some data doesn't necessarily even involve comps a whole lot, but we're going to look at what did you pay for your house when you bought it? What has the market done since then, right? Has the market gone up 10%, down 10%, whatever that is? We're going to apply that then to your original purchase price. The downside to doing this appreciation model is that obviously it gets a little less and less reliable the longer and longer time frame it is. So if you've lived in the house 25, 30 years, it may not be the most accurate model. It may also not be super accurate if you bought the home as a brand new home, or if you bought it as a fixer-upper and you put a lot of work into it. Obviously, that's going to skew that result some. So that's probably the least reliable of the three models that we like to look at. Number two then would be, we look at the price per square foot. So, what's the sale price of the homes that are selling in your neighborhood? Divide that by how many square feet did they have? And that gives us, a rough estimate relative to the size of the home. Now, again, there's no silver bullet here. There's no one size fits all. So if you're looking at a home that's say 3,000 square feet and one of the comps is maybe 2,300 square feet, we would expect that probably the price per square foot will be actually higher. That number will be higher per square foot on the smaller home than it will be on the larger one. We have to take things like that into account. Then the third one that we will look at is the percentage of taxable value, because I like to use that because in a price per square foot model, there's certain things it doesn't take into account, like how big is your yard? Price per square foot is only talking about how much space is inside the house. How many garage spaces do you have? Also not factored into a price per square foot model. Finished basements versus unfinished basements, not factored in. Anything outside that house, right? Decks, patios, pools sometimes. All of that is not factored into a price per square foot model, whereas it would be potentially accounted for in your tax assessment. And so if we can see that, most of the homes in the neighborhood are selling for, say, whatever the number, 20% above their tax assessed value, then that gives us a rough idea as to where your home might also land. We use those three models: appreciation, price per square foot, and percentage of taxable value. I will weight them differently depending on which one is going to be the most accurate in that particular situation. And then we come up with a rough estimate as to where we think your home's value will fall. Just like all things, again, that's not a perfect way to go about it, because obviously when the market is appreciating really quickly, we have to take that into account. If the homes we were looking at as comparable homes, comps, if you will, if those all sold, say, 8 months ago, in a market that's appreciating or depreciating really quickly, then that's obviously going to be a problem. So that's the first step of this. The second step is then deciding, okay, now that we know roughly what valuation we expect the market to bear for your home, then you have a decision to make. For list price, do you want to list above that number? Do you want to list at that number? Or do you want to list below that number? Now, there's pros and cons to all three of those, and that's part of some of the strategy that we would talk about. I have listed homes using all three of those strategies, and all three of them can and could potentially work. They are just better suited for the seller's individual situation, and so that's part of what we'll talk about and strategize when we meet. So guys, if you ever have questions, whether it's about selling a home or buying a home or even renting property, never hesitate to reach out. My name is Alex Bracke with the Valor Group, of Pearson Smith Realty. Thanks so much.